just wanna be heard. For your mom to your pop to the beat to the bird, my skirt right off on the curb. Like I'm Barry Sanders, chains on and the diamonds dancing. Game on, so it's time to go. When the rain starts, I'ma let you know. Name a squad that is better though than my whole team. We a pot of gold. I'm a dog, I'ma need a bone for my whole team. I'ma let it go like yeah, and it feel like yeah, all day like yeah, all night like yeah, whole squad like what? And it feel like yeah, all day like yeah, all night like what? Whole squad like yeah, and it feel like yeah, all day like yeah, all night like yeah, whole squad like yeah, and it feel like yeah, all day like yeah, all night like yeah. You don't want problems, you don't want smoke, no, you don't want problems. Yeah, you don't want problems, you don't want smoke, dog, you don't want problems. Yeah, you don't want problems, you don't want smoke, dog, you don't want problems. No, I said you don't want problems, you don't want smoke, dog, you don't want. Yeah, I pissed so my frustration, I was waiting to shine. My father taught me don't be soft, so now I'm taking what's mine. I define myself as ambitious, young, black, and gifted. Master P, my masterpiece, that mean I don't got no limits. Bout it, I doubt it. My homies know you ain't ratted. We break you down like a pound. I got it, don't pound us around me. I'm corrupted, flow cold and it's rugged, bumpy. What is up? I'm ready for war. You got to love it like yeah, and it feel like yeah, all day like yeah, all night like yeah, whole squad like what? And it feel like yeah, all day like yeah, all night like what? Whole squad like yeah, and it feel like yeah, all day like yeah, all night like yeah, whole squad like yeah, and it feel like yeah, all day like yeah, all night like yeah. You don't want problems, you don't want smoke, no, you don't want problems. Yeah, you don't want problems, you don't want smoke, dog, you don't want problems. Yeah, you don't want problems, you don't want smoke, dog, you don't want problems. No, I said you don't want problems, you don't want smoke, dog, you don't want.
STRO. Yeah.
How many of y'all came to win?
Oh, they asking my name, huh?
You ready?
STRO. I ain't come to play with you.
Yeah.
Life challenging, but I wouldn't trade with you. It's early, I'm up.
Yeah.
I can't spend the day with you. I'm minding my business. I ain't getting paid with you. My color bright. I ain't finna fade with you. Man, I gotta come clean like I made with you. I've been on my everybody drop when I drop. Look at shorty, she support ride. Lifting up, never not on my grind. New York City time. Another brother better, you will never find. I've been in my bag like groceries. Competition shouldn't take shots, take notes, please. Reporting live from the winter side. Ready to try, keep a different vibe. Is you down the ride, never tired. You will never know, you ain't never tried. Work it out, hit the gym, hit the field, hit the wheel. Hey yo, I need that. Big chips, man, I need that. Hustle hard, on the job, you can see that. On my head is real good, we don't need your feedback. They clear the way with my crew coming through. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Now what I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Yeah. Beats, leave it in the street, case on the news.
What I do? Lace up my shoes, chase W's. Great colored coops. Oh no, I can't be number 2. MVP the league most valuable. They sweet as apple juice. Talking trophies, I done grabbed a few. Can't match this attitude. I wear my heart on my sleeve, please. I move like the wind, can't catch this breeze. Freeze. Stop you in your tracks. It's not no preseason. We seeking W's like Tupac used to throw up. Forget it, might as well forfeit. Your team shouldn't even show up. What you wanna be when you grow up? They used to ask me. Naturally, I chose an athlete.
Well, Coach, the good news for now, no snow in the forecast, but plenty of scarves and mittens in this sea of orange at Empower Field at Mile High, just west of downtown Denver. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Y'all already know what time it is, huh? Playing skills, you did. Playing skills. Ice on the wrist, car on the wrist, hole in the wrist, watch how I flip, watch how I whip, I'm in the whip, hole in the wrist, I never switch, ice on the wrist, car on the wrist, hole in the wrist, watch how I flip, watch how I whip, I'm in the whip, hole in the wrist, I never switch, ice on the wrist, I get the money but I never switch. They saying you switch cause you won't get it. You know they came from the bottom and now we is lit. You was lit, I gotta get it, I gotta get it. You hating cause ice on the wrist. Why bet you wanna be famous, They act like they made us, You know I'm icy in Vegas, This for the that hate us, I make a lot of new money, When the not save us, You be liking my flavor, I think it's cause ice on the wrist, on the wrist, on the wrist. Watch out for this, I never switch, you never switch.
Well, Coach, the good news for now, no snow in the forecast, but plenty of scarves and mittens in this sea of orange at Empower Field at Mile High, just west of downtown Denver. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Denver Broncos. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. A first carry for Leonard Fournette. The game's first play produces 6 yards, brings up 2nd down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL, so when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
It's a gain of 16, 1st down Tampa Bay. So a good run by Fournette. Now another 1st and 10. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
Go now. 60 Pittsburgh. I'm going back to you.
And now on the pitch, the ball's loose. It's picked up by the Broncos. He's at the 30, 10, and he'll get in. Touchdown, Denver. So the defense forces the fumble. They get the score, and a guy on defense becoming offensive there, Charles.
And you know they love that. Any guy on defense loves to pick up the ball and have it in his hands and try and score himself. In this case, that's exactly what happened.
We'll be singing in the shower postgame. McManus's point after is good, and that makes the score 7-0. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They go play action now with McSorley. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Kareem Jackson. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the the 44-yard line. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training. So he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
Give him 14 yards there on a Denver first down. He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, that he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about. Continuity, rhythm, number of carries. Just keep giving it to him.
And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. 17 yards for the Broncos there as they've got themselves a first down. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
Ready. 44, Mike, 44. Hey, defense, let's go. Pick it up,
On first and 10, it's Lindsey. And strong running there as he's inside the 10 and down to the 8-yard line. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
61, matchbox, lights. Go, go.
On 2nd down, here's Locke. And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14. Well, they were coming out of the 4-3 defensively. Pressure coming off that right side from the DN.
And that's the blind side of most quarterbacks. If you're right-handed, that's the side you don't see quite as well. And that's why you rely on your left tackle, maybe your highest-paid offensive lineman, to take care of you. In this situation, that didn't happen.
Throwing now is Locke. Screen pass to Lindsey. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Philip Lindsey, his 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Broncos push further out in front. Early on, they have all facets of the game working in tandem.
Yeah, you get the defensive touchdown early and give you the first score, and then your offense piggybacks on top of that and gets their own. And any coach we've ever talked to, and we've had that conversation with them prior to the game, they always say, you know, if we can score on defense or special teams, that gives us like a 95% chance of winning the game. I don't know if that number's correct, but it certainly does tend to play out that way, doesn't it?
It does. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
On 2nd down, here's Fournette. And an alley to run. A big seam, and he might go all the way. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Leonard Fournette, his 11th touchdown of the year, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. They were already down 2 scores early. They needed something to try to stem that tide, and that certainly qualifies. A big play to get them in the end zone.
It qualifies indeed because, let's face it, they don't get something done on this drive, turn it back over, this game could be 88 and out the gate early.
What? 88 and out the gate?
Yeah.
What's that?
Well, listen, I used to hear my old man talk about it. Usually meant that thing's done.
Well, now that they got the touchdown, it's not 88 and out the gate. We still got a good game going ahead of us. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And that last drive was very, very balanced, pretty methodical. You think they go that route again?
I'm always of the school that until they stop me from doing something, I'm going to continue. And I think that that's exactly what they'll look to do. But the beauty is the balance that they've created sets up opportunities for big plays. Looks like a run, turn into a play action, and throw one deep.
On second down, a run with Lindsey. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. 39 yards there, a big one.
I don't care what the game plan was coming in. After these runs,
you're running it, right?
you make sure you keep circling on your play sheet, running plays that are working, and keep patting those big offensive linemen on the back. They're doing a great job.
Goes without saying, the defense is going to have to adjust to it.
In a big way, and they've got to figure out, do they have to sell out to stop the run, or can they just do it better than what they've done so far?
Let's go, defense. Let's go, defense.
Block now on first down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And that is the third sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Man, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game. I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. To try again after the sack. Locke, he's got his big tight end, Fant. That one good for 26 and a first down.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
Hey, Foxtrot, Foxtrot. Go.
Through one quarter, 14-7 our score. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Check. Kill. 49, check 49, check 49.
Block now on first down. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. You and I watched film yesterday, and you told me to watch his feet. Well, for whatever reason, his footwork just looked off on that throw.
And you always love it when the next defensive back talks quarterback mechanics, right?
Well, but you're good at it.
Well, I try, all right? I don't know how good I am, but it doesn't take much to tell. His mechanics are off a little bit, exactly what you described.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
We got it. 36.
On third down, here's Lindsey. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
He punted 5 times in the win last week as this one's away. Now this is fielded in the end zone. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Buccaneers will take over at the 20. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. On 2nd down, it's McSorley. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
On 3rd down, it's McSorley. The open man is Shark. It's complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A big pickup there, 18 yards and a Buccaneer first. Here's McSorley on 1st and 10. Gonna throw right side here, complete. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
To throw again on 2nd down. McSorley, he's going to rifle one deep into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time. And he's going to go down right near the goal line. The officials look at each other. They're going to mark him at the 1-yard line. Credit the sack to Vita Vea. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon.
22 jet bomber, 22 jet bomber. Hey, Delta. Hard. Five.
Here's Locke back near his goal line. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete.
Mike spoke forward. Watch twins. Hey, seam 6. Look, squeeze. Bam.
On 3rd and long, it's Locke. And that will be incomplete. More problems here on 3rd down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on 3rd down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines.
The Bucs take over 1st and 10 at their own 39-yard line.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here.
Hey, Jet.
On 2nd and 7, McSorley. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether...
And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42. Vita Vea in there to take him down on what will take us to the 2-minute warning. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it, sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
Throwing his Locke on 3rd down. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You could never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. He gives it up. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Got it. Hey, exit. Get it.
3rd down, they're going to throw for it with McSorley. And he's got a man. It's the tight end Howard, complete. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a 1st down.
Now that's absolutely frustrating for a defender. Had a chance to get him on the ground before he got to the sideline, but what great vision and understanding where he is on the field as he headed for the blocker and picked up the 1st down.
And able to use his blockers to get this up over the 40. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. Throwing on 2nd down, McSorley. And that one almost intercepted. Far too loose with the football here. Nearly a 4th pick. And it's 3rd down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter, a lot of time to change things. And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number. Not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
Bravo. 44's the mic. 44's mic. Check. Hey, lock it. Big air. Shoot.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And incomplete. Crisis averted. Almost picked. Instead, 2nd down.
Hank's almost going to get into QB1's ear when he gets to the sideline. Already thrown an interception. That one should have been picked. Look, let's just be honest about it. That'd be the 2nd person in his ear because he's hearing it in the huddle right now.
Not the start to the game he wanted. Like you said, the pick on the opening drive, 2nd drive, not much better.
44, Mike.
Blocked again here on 2nd and 10. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
And indeed, that's what they'll do as they run it here. And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. The 40, the 30, 10, and all the way home for a Broncos score. Philip Lindsay, an even 90 yards. And the Broncos push further out in front. And with that carry, he's already over 100 yards here in the first half.
And, partner, you know exactly what he's saying to his teammates right now, right? Especially to the play caller.
Give me the ball.
Again, and again, and again. It's not that heavy, sir. I'll take it.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on 1st down.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. He's picked off just shy of midfield. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Here's Lindsey, and that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. The Bucs with an extra defender now in the secondary here on 3rd down. From the gun on 3rd down, Locke. He's going to take a shot at the end zone. Why not? And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off with great anticipation. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will they be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'd love to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
Broncos with a lead, and they will be receiving this kickoff here as quarter 3 is underway. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Now a carry for Lindsey. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Call it no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. That time they're able to bottle him up, but he's having a really nice game.
I agree with that. Let's just go big picture, right? Every back that's in the Hall of Fame had carries where they didn't gain yardage or they lost yardage, but you stick with them, don't you? When they're having a good game, keep feeding them.
Faking the give to Lindsey. Here's Locke. Looking deep downfield. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. The safety, Jamal Adams, able to break that one up.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
Pulled in at the 24. A good return there, call it 13 yards. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half.
And now nothing but green ahead of him. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Leonard Fournette, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon, as his guys are back within a single score. That's the score you felt they had to have here in the 3rd quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there's an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Levante David in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
Like how they've started the third quarter here. They force a punt on the first drive, and after this sack, it looks like they'll be forcing another one as well.
Absolutely. Maybe got their second win coming out of the locker room. After the sack on first down, block. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
Hey, Charlie. Don't be scared of it. Yo, go. Hey, orbit.
From the gun, it's Locke. And he's going to be taken down, sacked back at the 2.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
So a short drop, but he's able to get it out, and this is a good kick. And taken right at the 35. Nearly a huge return, as it is still a very good one. 24 yards. And the Buccaneer offense will be set up well as they take over. Fournette, a first down carry. And a pretty good run there as he gets 7 down to the 33.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And maybe the wrong read there as he's going to go down immediately. This will be a loss of 3 and now a much tougher third down looming.
I don't think there's any doubt that if it's me, I'd be really cautious about continuing to call this play because you got to know. Defenders, if they get a free shot at the QB, they want to take it, and they want to take it big.
And they got it there on the option play for a loss. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. It's so tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a first down.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And they'll start in a hole here as he's brought down at the 11-yard line.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive. Almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
70, Indy. Hey, Delta.
To throw on 2nd and 6. Block. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked up by Tremaine Edmonds, the linebacker. And they're already in the red zone. The 18-yard line is where they take over.
You ready? 52's the mark. You got to get the ball. Do you get the ball right here? Smooth. 52's the Mike. Watch Mike. Come on, baby. Mike.
McSorley, 1st and 10. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that. And thus far, they've been successful.
Only a yard on the pickup there, so it leaves him needing a conversion here on 3rd and a tough 9. Out of the shotgun, McSorley. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. DJ Chark, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Bucs have taken the lead. No problem there on the extra point. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Let's go.
Denver offense at the line, ready to go. They had that lead, looked pretty comfortable in the first half. Maybe got a little bit overconfident because that's gone now.
Almost takes us back to being kids, doesn't it? Because I know at some point your dad did the exact same thing mine did. Okay. It's okay to be confident, son, but overconfident, that's not a good thing. And that's maybe what we saw here. They thought they had this thing in hand, had full control, and guess what? They've got to find a way to get back to where they were before.
You think Papa Davis and Papa Garden would get along?
I think they'd get along just fine. And you know something? They'd still be giving us advice.
Absolutely. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Tremaine Edmonds, the linebacker. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
1st down, Tampa Bay there, a gain of 13. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Fournette, and he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. Welcome back now to Denver. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. They'll get 4 out of that, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. Charles, you'd said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points scored. They've had their moments, but this offense just a little too good, isn't it?
They really are, because no matter what you do to make an adjustment on defense, they've had an answer for it.
They'll try and run for it with Fournette. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. An explosive 38-yard pickup.
60 or. First and 10. Now. 27-yard line. Get the weight room. Hey. High 7. Watch the screen. 5.
On first down, Locke. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off at the 14. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They get the crucial turnover, just huge, but now they've got the football deep in their own territory, and you got to be careful because if you give it right back, there goes your lead.
Have to be extremely happy with their defense. They received a gift. That takeaway, even though they're deep in their own territory, now they have the football. And you know there's always that alpha on defense, that grouchy guy. Forget what the coaches said. I'll guarantee you, he told the quarterback, we just took care of you. Now you take care of us.
This quarterback now just 8 of 16 thus far, 50%, but it's first and 10. Looking to throw on first and 10. Here's McSorley. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Chalk that up as their first sack in this game, and they tallied 4 a week ago.
And probably not as much exultation in that sack as what took us so long. Because when you get 4 the previous week, you're counting on continuing that momentum. They didn't get that done in the first half of the game. Let's see now if they start to bring even more exotic pressure towards the quarterback. And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball and punt it away? What kind of options do you have here, and what do you trust more on your team?
Yeah, they may have just pushed him back into that throwing situation. We'll see. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by Bryce Callahan. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's...
And now here is another interception. Picked off near the 42. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. Boy, what a turnaround. They exited the lockers with a nice lead, and now all of this. What's happened?
So when you start to write your novel, you'll start out with, it was a tale of 2 halves, won't you?
Hey, but I'm a bad writer.
I don't know exactly what happened because sometimes teams can go in with a lead and get too comfortable, too relaxed, and a couple things go wrong, and it's hard to get back that good feeling.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on second down. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line.
And this is an absolutely big third down that's been set up here, partner. And there's no other way to put it. The defense has to get a stop here if they have any hopes of winning this game.
Has to. You said big third down. I'd put the word big in capital letters here. They wind up getting 16, but even that's not quite enough. It's 4th down.
Gotta love the catch. I think you gotta love the gloves as well.
Yeah, these one-handed catches, that was great, and they're fun. They become a little more ho-hum right there.
Yeah, they really are. And I know that it sounds like we're taking credit away from the guys, and we don't mean that at all. They really work hard on this one-handed catch thing, but I think the gloves have to be helping in a big way.
This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And last time, 1-play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out.
And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. Defensive end gets in there that time. They were in a 4-3. What's the responsibility of the ends versus the tackles there, Charles?
Well, most of the time when you talk about the ends, they're your pass rushers. They're the guys that you turn loose to try and get to the guy who's going to throw the football. The tackles, usually more of the run-stuffing variety. But the way this game...
And he's going to go down again.
So, Brandon, we sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
He's going to let it fly. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Jamal Adams, and he's just across midfield and down at the 49-yard line. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now Leonard Fournette, and he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
Ready. 10 logo. 22 jet bomber. 22 jet bomber.
McSorley from the shotgun. And they almost had another one. They are all over the football in this game. Nearly another pick. Now 4th down. And his kick is right there. It's good. And that will extend their lead even further. So they settle for just the 3. But clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt. Obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off. But it's still 8 up time. Got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. This is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is not going to erase what's happened during the game. So after it's over, you're going to go to the film, find out where the game was really lost. But this is not a situation now where you're going to make up for anything.
We'll see what they do here. Charles, we saw a lot of points go up in this one. Certainly defensively, stuff that they could look at on film, don't you think?
No doubt about it. And they've got to go back and check where the errors are, how they're going to fix them, and continue to get better at what they do. But they also need a little adjustment with their confidence. To give up that many points, even if you win a game, that can hurt you.
So for the Buccaneers, it's a very important win as they move to 9-4 now on the year. And they will head back home